Information tonight on a violent night across central Ohio. Columbus police are investigating 3 shootings and the sheriff's office investigating another case. As you can see here, they all happened between 7 last night and 2 this morning. Tom Bosco has the latest on where these investigations stand tonight. Loved ones waiting for answers after a young mother was murdered. Her body left in an alley in the Hilltop. This weekend, the family marking 1 year since she was killed, still pleading for justice in the case. Steve Levine has more on their push for answers. We're also following a developing story out of D.C. tonight. President Biden signing an executive order on abortion rights. Kayla Gaskins has the full story.
I'm Kayla Gaskins.
And at the White House today, President Biden highlighted an abortion case getting a lot of attention right here in the state of Ohio. It has been reported a 10-year-old girl from Ohio who was pregnant after she was raped had to go all the way to Indiana recently to get an abortion.
Imagine being that little girl. I'm serious. Just imagine being that little girl, 10 years old.
Throughout the afternoon, I spoke with a number of pro-choice advocates right here in central Ohio to get more reaction on today's executive order. The president noted that some states have put abortion bans in place. For his part, the president again calling on voters to remember all of this in the midterm elections in November. He says the nation will have to choose between the mainstream and the extreme. We start tonight with a rash of violence across the city of Columbus. Over the past few days, we've tracked a number of shootings. Tonight, communities are on edge, many saying enough is enough, doing all they can to bring peace to the city. At this hour, a major community event underway in the Hilltop. The organizers are pushing to make a difference and to make a positive impact for local families. Tom Bosco is following that story for us tonight. And Tom, quite frankly, this is an effort to save lives. Happening this weekend, Columbus police stepping up efforts to make an impact in the community and in the lives of local kids. Officers are leading a series of camps aimed at pulling kids off the streets and out of trouble. They believe the effort could help to change lives. Miles Harris has the full story. In the football fever, the college football world is still spinning after news that USC and UCLA will soon be joining the Big Ten Conference. The big question tonight, what dominoes will fall next, and could Notre Dame be the next team to join the conference? Clay Hall, of course, has been tracking these developments and all of the movement from the very start. And Clay, you're getting some insight tonight from former Fighting Irish star on the possibility of this move by Notre Dame. We do start tonight with the possible political fallout that we could see after the arrest of a Columbus man for the rape of a 10-year-old girl. It was breaking news last night when we told you he was in court on rape charges. The case got national headlines after word spread the girl had to go to Indiana for an abortion. In the days before that arrest, State AG Dave Yost went on Fox News and questioned if the story was true. Now, this is a story that could eventually have an impact on the election in November. Haley Nelson looking deeper into that story tonight. We caught up with Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther this afternoon and got a bit of insight on what he thinks about this story that it's gotten attention across the country. Folks living in Linden say their quiet street has become a spot for dangerous joyriding, and their rec center has turned into a racetrack. The Linden Community Center should be a neighborhood safe haven, but now it's a hot spot for violence. Steve Levine has the full story. All right, thank you, sir. Tonight, we're learning more about the efforts to give the Hilltop a bit of a makeover. The city introducing the Hilltop Rise Economic Community Development Corporation. The plan hopes to bring new life to that area. Maria Durant breaks it all down. And we do start tonight with the forecast. It has been a gloomy Sunday. Temperatures are below average tonight, but the good news, the sun is on the way back later this week. Marshall McPeak tracking things for us tonight. What do you say, Marshall? And in light of that deadly shooting this weekend, Columbus police teaming with community leaders in an effort to save lives, holding a massive event in Linden this afternoon aimed at bringing neighborhoods together in peace. Isabel Hansen following that story for us tonight. And Isabel, this is all about getting kids off the streets and into a safe place. It's certainly heartbreaking to imagine what these families went through. If not for the quick action of firefighters, things could have been much worse. A rude awakening for families here at the Wedgwood Village Apartments on the west side.
The fire started with this number 7, and then our unit is number 6.
Columbus firefighters getting the call around 7 a.m. of flames bursting from one of the units.
We were getting early reports that people were inside.
6 of those victims pulled to safety by first responders. 3 people rushed away to local hospitals. One of those, 13-year-old Orlando, loved one sharing this picture with us.
Oh, we love him to death. We love him. We're going to pray as hard as we can for him because he's a great boy.
They tell us they're rocked by what happened, devastated looking at the aftermath.
He was burned. He couldn't move his hands or his head. And when they was bringing him out, he got stuck. His room was right there. and he got stuck in here, and the fire department saved his life.
Investigators telling us the only thing that stopped the fire from jumping to a neighboring unit, a closed door that kept those flames at bay.
This is a key concept. Keep your doors shut in a fire, including your bedroom doors, because that was able to keep the fire and smoke products from coming into their apartment.
We're told that no firefighters were hurt. At least 2 families were forced from their homes, but a number of others shaken by what happened here. On the west side, Rodney Dunigan reporting. For many of the residents, addiction has been a key factor in their pitfalls. We were recently allowed inside of a treatment session as residents try to take a step forward towards a better life outside of the walls of lockup.
Man, it's overwhelming. I'm not going to lie. You know, my mom, I get to talk to her on the phone every week, and I have a visit every week, and she's just so proud of me. She's like, you know, you sound like a different person, you know.
Kenneth Malpin just days away from being released from the Franklin County Community-Based Correctional Facility. We've been following his fight for a second chance at life.
You know, you can get a lot out of this program if you put forth the effort.
I'm an alcoholic. My name's Lewis.
We were allowed inside an addiction treatment meeting. This safe space not only allowing residents the chance to fellowship, but also giving them the tools and principles needed to achieve and maintain sobriety.
But if you work on yourself while you're here, you know, and try to become the best person that you ever have become in your life, it works, you know, it really works.
We've also been keeping track of Dylan Hensel's progress, the 28-year-old battling his personal demons and a long-time family history of drug abuse.
Sometimes I would feel alone in, what I was going through, but going to meetings and stuff keeps you reminded that we all go through, similar problems, and, we've all dealt with it the same way.
I smoked some weed, I drank.
Hensel thankful for the support as he tries to get his life back on track.
There's more to life than places like this. Like, I promise you that.
I'm so thankful that everybody's done everything that they have for me, because I couldn't have done it myself.
For residents involved with the program, breaking those chains of drug addiction starts with that first step, the hope for a better life outside the walls on the other side of recovery. Rodney Dunigan reporting. Columbus City leaders have maintained a commitment to programs focused on safety, education, and life skills for kids across the city. We're looking deeper into those efforts and exactly how not only kids but families are being impacted.
All right, good job, good job.
Yes, sir. For Joe Thompson, it's a passion, a commitment to the community, pushing to make an impact in the lives of kids.
A lot of these kids don't have fathers out here. And so we have to play that part. I play that part.
Get you right there.
Most evenings you can find Thompson along with a host of volunteer coaches here at Mock Park, pouring love and support into members of the Ohio Ducks youth football team.
Oh, it's very, very important, Rodney.
The squad falling under the umbrella of the Legacy Youth Sports League. From football to educational programs, organizers say the nonprofit is impacting more than 3,400 kids citywide.
So we talk about truly expanding the minds of our youth here, what's out there in the world, things that they've seen on TV. Now they actually get a chance to go see it.
Dominic Jones is the founder of the league. Last year, the program given a $200,000 grant from the city council. Jones says the money has been a crucial benefit for the organization. From field maintenance and paying for referees to summer educational programming, family outreach, even organized college visits for the kids.
But we're here to say, hey, listen, we can introduce you to a lot of other things that you can ultimately still have the same successful life that you did, that you envisioned playing sports, even if you wasn't.
City administrators also tell us they have a number of checks and balances in place to ensure grant funding is being properly used. The Department of Neighborhoods conducts site visits, requires documentation of expenditures. Surveys are done with the youngsters who participate. Programs are also required to report overall outcomes.
Oh, Tony!
For the coaches and volunteers on the ground level, they're confident they're making a difference. Last year alone, the Columbus City Council invested more than $1.3 million into summer and youth violence prevention programs. The hope is that this work with these kids will help to create the next generation of leaders in the city and lead to a positive change in many families and communities that need it most. Rodney Dunigan reporting. Each and every one of the men behind these walls is literally a work in progress, taking the lessons and skills they've learned here to spark a real change in their lives. Hoops on a hot day. For Michael Laverick, this is a small taste of normal life. When we first met him a few weeks back, he was cuffed and shackled, fresh into the program here at the Franklin County Community-Based Correctional Facility.
I don't care, you know what I mean? I don't care what the next person says. It's just, I'm gonna do it. I gotta do it. Because if I don't do it, I'm gonna be back in here or jail.
He spent the past few weeks trying to chart a new course for his life.
I'm tired of going to jail and prison.
Laverick tells us he's tired of the legal issues, tired of the time behind bars, tired of the time away from family.
I'm trying to be a better man and just trying to move on so I can go out there and get me in my own house, and that's really all for real, and get a job, and what is that?
You know this.
Nobody.
No, you was there a few years ago.
Noble.
Yeah.
His biggest step forward, something many take for granted, is simply learning how to read.
The night.
Yep, good job.
People try to help me out. Like, it ain't just one person. It's always the next person. Like, if you don't know I can't read, they trying to help me. You know what I mean? That's one thing I can say about this place.
It would be his biggest accomplishment in the program to date. Step 2 would be getting his GED.
As a GED teacher, she will not let you quit. It don't matter what it is. Regardless the situation you're in, she gonna try to make you happy and put faith in you.
With 2 teenage children waiting on the outside, he says he's pushing to be the father they've always needed and deserved, which he says comes with the necessary changes he's making now.
There it is.
Laverick admits the process hasn't been easy, but he's focused and confident that his life is finally moving in the right direction. He stresses all he ever really needed is someone to care. Rodney Dunigan reporting. It's a question that continues to grow louder in the community every day. What's leading kids to literally risk their lives and futures for a joyride in a stolen car for just a few hours? It's already had a deadly outcome this summer, and some fear that more lives could be lost.
This is awful, truly.
It's a harsh reality, but one Triandis Kelly and Dominic Woods have grown accustomed to.
It was little kids, 14 and under, out here stealing cars and going to juvenile just for the fun of it. Like, it was nothing, like, it was not a big deal, like it wasn't impacting their life.
Seeing kids in the community heading down the wrong path, a growing number behind the wheel of a stolen car.
In my head, I'm saying that's not good. That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Just weeks ago, 2 teens killed in a crash involving a car that was ripped off.
Seeing kids die like that is very sad.
Hopefully other kids that's doing the same thing can see it as like a notice, like to stop, or use it as a chance to see that what can happen to them.
Both teens saying a big part of the problem, many of the kids involved feel they don't have a better option. No positive outlook on life. No one who cares about their future.
Yeah, like when you're 30, like they're gonna look at look at everything. Like all of this follow you. You can never lose it. Like it's going to be with you for the rest of your life.
They know a lot of them, or they know.
Ralph Carter, one of those pushing to change that mindset.
I am them. I was one that was out here running around these streets and doing these things they're doing, just not in that manner.
The founder of We Are Linden trying to show kids there is a better way, stressing that quick thrill could have an impact for a lifetime.
They need more role models. They need people to look up to. And a lot of times it's not just talking and lecturing, it's just being, showing them by just your actions and what you're doing. And that's what I do with a lot of the kids now. They see what I'm doing and they want to be a part.
You know, I know you guys... Youngsters we spoke with say many of the kids involved in these crimes simply need someone to care.
Trust us, help us, give us the opportunity to change. Everybody isn't going to change at the same pace.
A number of community leaders like Carter are pushing to ensure that local kids have a positive outlet, staying away from the streets and out of trouble. The hope is to reach some of these kids before they make a deadly mistake. In Columbus, Rodney Dunigan reporting. And of course, the 2 sides are at a roadblock in contract talks, and we could be just days away from a strike. Tonight, we're getting insight from the community, parents, and kids about the impact this could all have on the most important people in this fight, the students.
We are
They need to sit down and resolve these issues for the betterment of our children and our community.
Nana Watson is not holding back.
I think the board needs to be proactive. If there's going to be a strike, what is the plan for our children?
The president of the Columbus branch of the NAACP fed up with the contract fight between Columbus City Schools and the district's teachers.
What is the district going to do should there be a strike to educate our children?
The union putting plans in place for a possible strike, an August 24th start date for school students in limbo. Watson believes so is the future for city kids, saying a strike would have a devastating impact on minority inner city kids.
We've experienced COVID for 2 years. The children are probably already behind. If they do this, it's going to put our children further behind.
With a strike looming, how are district administrators responding to our questions about how they plan to educate kids if teachers hit the picket line? Not on camera, instead releasing yet another press release, saying in part they're well prepared for an alternate opening, but they haven't detailed exactly what those plans are.
I thought that we were on the track to getting back to normal.
Parents like Princess Kumba with some real concerns. She's been working with city youth this summer. With 3 kids in the district, she fears after years of COVID disruptions, the school year will be another educational hurdle students will have to leap.
And a lot of kids, my kids included, kind of fell off academically when they were doing virtual school because you're kind of teaching yourself.
Kids we spoke with also troubled students citywide could be out of the school building once again.
It's been rocky, really.
It will probably be hard because there are kids who really want to go back to school, really want to get back into learning.
Watson believes a push from the community and families may be needed to bring teachers and the board together.
They need to be more transparent and provide this community with the plan. They need to be really focused in on our children and the effects that it will have on our community should they decide to strike.